We are listening to Billboard's top 10 songs of 1966 according to their Hot 100 year-end list, which tracks album or singles sales and radio airplay. We've done all the 60s up to now. We're up to 66, and it's been very, very interesting. We've already kind of seen a couple of distinct eras taking shape just from this like brief bird's eye view overview, you know, because it's not like we're getting a super depthful picture of the landscape, but there are some breadcrumb clues and stuff to infer and extrapolate meaning from. So like we saw the twist taken over, we saw the British invasion taken over. I assume we are approaching psychedelic music. If not this year, then next year or something, you know? 1965 had the Four Tops, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Temptations, Elvis Presley. It was a pretty star-studded affair. And now that we're on to 1966, it's looking pretty starkly different. Surprisingly so. So we're going to see what all this means. Here we go. We're going to get started with track number 10. I don't have sound on though.
Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret, silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best.
Okay.
100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat hand to hand, men who fight by night and day, courage take from the Green Beret, silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Back at home, a young wife waits.
Ooh.
Her Green Beret has met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her this last request. Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. He'll be a man they'll test one day. Have him win the Green Beret.
You know, that was kind of interesting. That was, you know, I mean, clearly, like, it had the marching band percussion and everything like that. I have mixed feelings. I'll have to say I have mixed feelings about the whole sentiment of the song. And, you know, the guy, he dies in the service and tells his wife to tell the kid that he has to go into the service. And, you know, I don't want to get all into it and everything. It's interesting that it made the list. That's what I want to focus on. I thought it was fine musically, and the idea that it's on this list here does speak to obviously the Vietnam War and everything going on at the time. And this is a whole like album, I guess. Barry Allen Sadler was an American singer-songwriter and author whose military service influenced his work. After a stint in the United States Air Force, Sadler served in the United States Army as a Green Beret medic, achieving the rank of Staff Sergeant. He served in the Vietnam War from December 1964 to May 1965. Most of his work has a military theme, and he is best known for his patriotic song, The Ballad of the Green Beret, a #1 hit. He died at age 49 after being shot in the head in Guatemala City. Holy God. Okay. Well, so the whole album went number 1 on the pop chart and the country chart. The album itself doesn't have a link, but the song does. It was one of the few popular songs of the Vietnam War years to cast the military in a positive light. Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm, Anyway, the song became a major hit in January 66, reaching number 1 for 5 weeks, and was ranked number 1 of that chart's most successful songs of 66. No. It's not number 1, it's number 10, unless there's some other list they're referencing there. It was also a crossover hit, reaching number 1 on Billboard's Easy Listening chart and number 2 on Billboard's Country Survey. It was the most commercially successful topical song of the Vietnam War era. Shipped 2 million copies in its first 5 weeks, making it the then fastest selling single in RCA's history. Wow. It placed 10th on the year-end Hot 100 chart published by Billboard in December 1966. Thank you. I do my research. The hell are they telling me number 1 on some other chart? When Billboard later revised its year-end rankings for 66, the song was re-ranked at number 1. Oh no. There's a revised 1966? Oh no, I didn't do that research. Oh no. I have an unrevised version, whatever that means. Billboard has recognized the Ballad of the Green Berets as the top Hot 100 song of that year. Well, that's strange. How do you mess up the list that bad? You go from 10 to 1. You forgot the 0? You forgot to carry a decimal over or something? Jeez. Well, okay, I guess that's the stream, everybody. Thanks for coming out. See you next time. Was uniquely successful in an era of protest songs and anti-Vietnam War sentiment, focusing not on battle but the humanity of the soldiers. Its appearance on the Billboard Country chart, despite not having any overtly country music traits, is a testament to its broad appeal. In terms of sales and chart activity, musicologist R. Serge Denisoff called The Ballad of the Green Berets the most successful topical song of the Vietnam War era. Okay, well, thank you for your service, guy, and all of our soldiers out there, obviously. U.S. involvement in Vietnam was starting to ramp up in a major way. This was an attempt to win the hearts and souls of American public. There was a movie to follow this up in 1968. Next song, number 9, new group to me. This is a group that I would like to listen to because I understand that they have some kind of little bit of significance, 15 minutes of fame type thing at least, so we'll probably check out this group to some degree. Here we go.
On that magic carpet ride last night. But when you wake up in the morning, the world still gets you uptight.
Okay. Alright.
Well, there's nothing better you ain't tried to fill the emptiness inside. When you come back down, girl, still ain't feeling right. Don't it seem like it's just keep getting harder to find, and all your kicks ain't bringing you peace of mind. Before you find out it's too late, girl, you better get straight. No, but not with kicks.
All right.
You just need help, girl. Well, you think you're gonna find yourself a little piece of paradise, but it ain't happened yet. So girl, you better think twice. Don't you see, no matter what you do, you'll never run away from you. And if you keep on running, you'll have to pay the price. And don't it seem like it's just keep getting harder to find, and all your kicks ain't bringing you peace of mind. Before you find out it's too late, girl, you better get straight. No, you don't need kicks to help you face the world each day.
Whoa.
That road goes nowhere. I'm gonna help you find yourself another way. Kicks just keep getting harder to find, and all your kicks ain't bringing you peace of mind. Just before you find out it's too late, girl, you better get straight. Don't it seem like kicks just keep getting harder to
Okay. That was solid. I could get behind that, you know. Kicks ain't get no feeling, man. I don't know the words yet, but yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. Paul Revere and the Raiders, huh? What do you want to bet that that's a stage name and the front man of the band is not actually named Paul Revere? I'm willing to bet that that's the case. Another classic Pacific Northwest band. Okay. I have to actually keep that in mind, you know? Like nowadays there's no with the internet and the broad democratization and low barrier of entry, there's not as much of local sounds. I mean, there's hubs of genres, you know, like for example, but it doesn't as much matter that this group is from the East Coast and this guy's from the West Coast and this one's from the South and you know, whereas in the 50s, 60s, you know, it super matters. So I gotta keep that in mind here. So this is the Pacific Northwest. Paul Revere and the Raiders, also known as Raiders, were an American rock band found in Boise, Idaho in '58. They saw considerable U.S. mainstream success in the second half of the 60s and early 70s. The band was known for including Revolutionary War-style clothes in their attire. They had a theme, they had a style. They're a little bit like Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, except better. The music is better, at least. Originally an instrumental rock combo called the Downbeats, the Raiders were formed in 1958 by organist... What's his name? Is his name actually Paul Revere? Paul Revere Dick. Wow. Wow, his name was actually Paul Revere. Holy shit. Okay. All right. My fault, Paul. My fault. Brainchild of producer Terry Melcher. Son of Doris Day? No way. I love Doris Day, which means I have to love Terry Melcher, which means I have to love Paul Revere and the Raiders. So that's decided. We're going to move on to... This is going to be interesting. We got to have a little talk about this after this one. Here we go.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people, we were strangers in the night, up to the moment when we said our first hello. Little did we know, love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. And ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight.
Okay.
In love forever.
It's a good melody.
It turned out so right for strangers in the night. Just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. Ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever. It turned out so right for strangers in the night.
Doobie doobie doo. Scooby-Doo? Oh, Frank. I love Frank Sinatra. We've talked about this in this very series before. I got nothing against Frank Sinatra. What's interesting to me is that Frank and Dean Martin and Louis Armstrong, like all these guys are, they're not going quietly into that dark night. You know what I mean? They're all like with Dean Martin saying, I'm gonna knock your pallies off the charts. You know what I mean? Like they're all fighting. And even Dean, I guess, resented rock and roll and was all pissed off and, you know, pissy about it. The fact that these new kids with their long hair and their in-your-face attitudes were taking over the suave decorum and everything. It's interesting that they are like sticking to their guns, essentially. You know, they're not trying to adapt. They're just saying, I'm just gonna do me at this high level, and I bet you it's gonna still work. And then what do you know, it does, and people are still here for it. I'm still here for it. I like it. You know, it's really good. And we're gonna put a pin in this Sinatra conversation for a little while. We'll return to this conversation in a bit. But for now, moving on to a group that I don't know at all. I'm not really even sure the genre or what to expect here. Could go any kind of way with this vague-ass, ominous-ass name. Okay.
Cherish is a word I use to describe all the feeling that I have hiding here for you inside.
Okay.
You don't know how many times I've wished that I had told you. You don't know how many times I've wished that I could hold you. You don't know how many times I've wished that I could mold you into someone who could cherish me as much as I cherish you.
Okay.
Perish is a word that more than applies to the hope in my heart each time I realize that I am not gonna be the one to share your dreams, that I am not gonna be the one to share your schemes, that I am not gonna be the one to share what seems to be the life that you could cherish as much as I do yours. Oh, I'm beginning to think that man has never found the words that could make you want me, that have the right amount of letters, just the right sound that could make you hear, make you see that you are driving me out of my mind. Oh, I could say I need you, but then you'd realize that I want you, just like 1,000 other guys would say they love you, with all the rest of their lives, when all they wanted was to touch your face, your hands, and gaze into your eyes. Cherish is the word I use to describe all the feeling that I have hiding here for you inside. You don't know how many times I wish that I had told you. You don't know how many times I wish that I could hold you. You don't know how many times I wish that I could mold you into someone who could cherish me as much as I cherish you. And I do cherish you. And I do cherish you. Cherish is the
The association. I see the Beach Boys kind of comparison, sort of. They're a little like softer and folksier and melodically way more complex. Maybe to a fault. I don't know. I mean, that's just this one song anyway, but they executed it cleanly, I guess, but it was still a little bit cluttered. You know, there's some interesting ideas, some good expertise on display to execute that. I think I need to think on that one. Brian Wilson called this album the greatest debut ever. Along Comes the Association. The Association was a major group in the 60s. They would open the door for bands like Bread in later years. Bread is a band? Insight Out is their best album. That's a fire album name. I'll tell you that. The Association is an American sunshine pop band from Los Angeles, California. During the late 1960s, the band had numerous hits at or near the top of the Billboard, including Windy, Cherish, Never My Love, and Along Comes Mary, and were the opening act of 1967's Monterey Pop Festival, okay? Generally consisting of 6 to 8 members, they are known for intricate vocal harmonies by the band's multiple singers. This is their first album. I mean, if Brian Wilson says it's the greatest debut album of all time, then maybe we ought to figure it out, you know? Now we're going to take the pin back out of something and continue a discussion that we're having.
You keep saying you got something for me. Something you call love, but confess you've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin', and now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
That guitar is crazy.
You keep lying when you ought to be truthin'.
You ought to be truthin'.
And you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be a-changin'.
You keep saying?
Now what's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
That's tough. That is tough as hell. Man.
You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing, and you keep thinking that you'll never get burned. Ha! I just found me a brand new box of matches, yeah. And what he knows you ain't had time to learn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, Boots?
I'm ready.
Start walking.
Hey. No, there should be like a breakdown right there. This shouldn't fade out. Give me like 30 seconds of that. I was ready to dance. All right, I'm gonna say I was pretty skeptical going into this because I remember seeing Nancy Sinatra as I don't even know, some kind of teenager on the Welcome Home Elvis special back in 1960 or 61.
Nancy, you've met Mr. Presley, haven't
Of
you?
course. How are you, Mr. Presley?
You can call me Elvis.
Oh,
You
thank
call him Mr. Presley, cause on account of she's been spoken for.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
So this is years later, a couple of years later, and they got her dressed up like Supergirl for some reason. But that was not bad. That was not bad. That was actually quite good, I dare say. That was catchy, and that had some attitude to it. That guitar, that boo 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 boo. That was kind of memorable and unique. she wasn't really required to do much, you know, because I think of Frank Sinatra as having one of the like finest voices for crooning and stuff. So I'm as those are big shoes, big boots to fill, you might say. And this song, to her credit, doesn't really require her to be the finest singer. Like, what I'm trying to say is this song doesn't put that on display. She may very well be an excellent singer. I don't know. But on this song, she instead displays a lot of attitude, and I like that. I think that goes over really well. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of these boots are made for walking. A man, Lee Hazelwood, wrote this, and it was a hit because a woman sang it. Frank Sinatra's daughter rocks, and love her album with Lee Hazelwood, Nancy, and Lee. Check out her song Bang Bang. She also had a hit with Summer Wine. Okay. Got quite a few then. This song was in Full Metal Jacket. What I'm learning is that, because I've seen all of these movies that people bring up all the time, like American Graffiti, Blues Brothers, Full Metal Jacket, whatever. I have them. I can pull them off. They're right there on the shelf. You know what I mean? But for some reason, I just never remember these songs in the movies. Someone, Top Gun, in the last video that I just did, someone was like, oh yeah, this song is in Top Gun. I was like, I don't remember this in Top Gun. I just remember the slow motion volleyball scenes at Golden Hour with everybody all oiled up and glistening. That's all I remember. Anyway, so now Frank Sinatra, not only is he still on the charts here, he's got his own daughter on the charts. This is definitely like Frank Sinatra in his like Godfather era. You know, he's not the young kid of the late 40s anymore. He's not even like still trying to prove himself like in the 50s. Now he's in the 60s and he's just OG Frank. And he's just chilling at the back of the club and he's just like, you know, I don't really feel like doing this song today. Send my daughter out, you know, send her out. Send Dino. Dino, you want to go do that one? You want to go knock my pallies off the block, off the charts? You go right ahead and you do that. It's kind of a big flex. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. We're going to put a pin in, we're going to put another pin in Frank and Nancy for now. But that is very cool. And I like that, you know, the old school is still kind of doing their thing and staying with it. A TV promo clip from the era features Sinatra in high boots accompanied by colorfully dressed go-go dancers in what is now considered an iconic swinging 60s look. Between early 66 and early 68, she charted on Billboard's Hot 100 with 14 titles, 10 of which reached the top 40. Oh no, she's got a whole political views page? I don't want to click it. You better leave this store with a Sinatra record, pal. Hey, yo. That's actually pretty funny. Let me just check your bag there, ma'am. I notice you don't have any Frank Sinatra there. It'd be a real shame if something happened to your house. Next up, number 5. We're bringing back a group that I cannot wait to listen to more fully.
It's just
is HDH. Of course it is. Of course. Man, I can't even tell you which one is better. What was the last one even called again? Oh yeah, it was Sugar Pie, I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. We're just gonna say, Four Tops, exceptional. I love it. They are so they're so full of heart, and the music is so full and rich. And like this song in particular is just like, hey buddy, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling alone, just reach out. I'll be there. You know? I love that. I love that sentiment. I love it wrapped up in this beautiful music. The best song on the list so far? I think it's in conversation with These Boots Are Made for Walking. You know, that song is kind of really good. But this is fantastic also. We're going to move on to our next song. This is my introduction to a group that we will also be listening to at some point. I have an understanding of this group, but I don't know if it's completely accurate. So we'll see.
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30, cause I've made your reservation. Don't be slow. No. Cause I'm leaving in the morning and I must see you again. We'll have one more night
There it is.
together till the morning brings my train and I must go. No. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Take the last train to Clarksville, I'll be waiting at the station. We'll have time for coffee, for later kisses, and a bit of conversation.
That's cute. That's a cute line.
No. Take the last train to Clarksville. Now I must hang up the phone. I can't hear you in this noisy railroad station. All alone I'm feeling low. No. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30, cause I've made your reservation. Don't be slow. No. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville.
All right, Monkees. I like that. My understanding of the Monkees is what's being alluded to here. Monkees created to star in a TV show crafted in a Hard Day's Night style. My understanding is that they are some kind of television group created after or inspired by the Beatles that then, I don't actually really know. Let's find out. The Monkees were originally a fictional band created for the NBC television sitcom The Monkees. They were cast to portray members of a band in the sitcom. Music credited to the Monkees appeared in the sitcom and was released on LPs and singles beginning in '66, and the sitcom aired from '66 to '68. At first, the band members' musical contributions were primarily limited to lead vocals and the occasional composition, with the remaining music provided by professional songwriters and studio musicians. Though this arrangement yielded multiple hit albums and singles, the band members desired greater control over the creation of their music. Following a brief power struggle, the Monkees gained full control over the recording process in '67, with widespread allegations that the band members did not play their own instruments, followed by the cancellation of the TV series, diminishing success on the charts, and waning popularity overall. Band members began to leave the group. They had a final recording session in 1970 before breaking up. I'm a huge Monkees fan, each guy, something for everyone. Mike, great country songs, Peter, folk, Mickey the Wild Man, David, dreamy. They catch crap for not playing instruments on their records, but many groups didn't, so it wasn't a fair criticism. Yeah, as far as I understand, that's not uncommon completely, you know? Look at that, look at all those freaking #1 albums. Of course. Yeah, we're gonna have to listen to the Monkees for sure. Shout out to them. They got to #4 on this chart, and all these #1 albums. That's a pretty good television spin-off career, you know? All right, moving on. Oh, and what's the deal with Davy Jones' locker? Can anybody explain that to me? I don't get that. All right, we're in the top 3 now. All 3 of these I've never heard. Let's see how it goes.
As I walk this land of broken dreams, I have visions of many things, but happiness is just an illusion filled with sadness and confusion. What becomes of the broken hearted who had love that's now departed? I know I've got to find some kind of peace of mind, maybe. The roots of love grow all around, but for me they come a tumbling down. Every day heartaches grow a little stronger. I can't stand this pain much longer. I walk in shadows, searching for light. Cold and alone, no comfort inside. Hoping and praying for someone who cares. Always moving and going nowhere. What becomes of the broken hearted?
Damn.
Who had love that's now departed? I know I've got to find some kind of peace of mind. Help me, please. I'm searching though I don't succeed, but someone's love there's a growing need. All is lost, there's no place for beginning. All that's left is an unhappy ending. Now what becomes of the broken hearted who had love that's now departed? I know I've got to find some kind of peace of mind. I'll be searching everywhere just to find someone to care. I've been looking every day. I know I'm gonna find a way. Nothing's gonna stop me now.
Dang. I've never even heard of this guy, you know, because we're in the top 3 now. The #1 I've heard of, and I'm planning on doing that band and that album. But this #2 and this #3, this guy here, Jimmy Ruffin, I've never heard of him. But that was a beautiful song. That was great. So soulful, so beautiful, heartfelt, tragic, man. Some of those lyrics, I wish we had them pulled up because some of those were oof. Oof. He's an American soul singer and the older brother of Dave, the lead singer of The Temptations. Oh, but he wasn't in The Temptations? He had several hit records between the 60s and 80s, the most successful being the top 10 hits What Becomes of the Brokenhearted and Hold On to My Love. So why didn't you join the group, buddy? I sure would have expected that to happen. Found success difficult to sustain, focused on the British market. Dude, just go work with your brother. Go work with The Temptations. They're fantastic. Okay, so that Sings Top 10 is in fact his debut album and seems also to be his highest charting. So it does not seem like he had as sustained a career. That's a shame. That was really good. I like that song quite a bit. That one is a highlight for me, but so far this has been a pretty good list as well, I would say. We haven't had really any low points. Just a lot of kind of different stuff. All right, we've got 2 more songs. This next group, I truly know nothing about.
Teardrops for one heart to carry on. You're way on top now since you left me. You're always laughing way down at me.
This is something different.
But watch out now, I'm gonna get there. We'll be together for just a little while, and then I'm gonna put you way down here, and you'll start crying 96 tears. Cry, cry. When the sun comes up, I'll be on top. You be right down there, looking up. And out my way, come up here. But I don't see you waving now. I'm way down here, wondering how I'm gonna get to you. But I know now, I'll just cry, cry.
What is this about?
Too many teardrops for one heart to be crying. Too many teardrops for one heart to carry on. You're gonna cry 96 tears. You're gonna cry 96 tears. You're gonna cry, 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 cry now. You're gonna cry, 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 cry 96 tears. Come on, let me hear you cry now. 96 tears. Woo! I wanna hear you cry night and day, yeah, all night long. 96 tears. Cry, cry, cry. Come on, baby, let me hear you cry now. All night long. 96 tears. Yeah, come on now. 96 tears.
That one's pretty fun. That one's fun. I like that song. That's something kind of unique and fun. I wouldn't really expect it. I certainly wouldn't think I was going to hear that like 10 years ago on the charts or anything. You know, it feels of the time. Kind of fun, not taking itself too serious. Just something fresh and different and interesting. Put it there with Wooly Bully. I suppose. I like this more than Wooly Bully. I don't know what that says about me. This one was a little dancier, a little funkier, a little weirder. No, I guess maybe it wasn't weirder. I don't know. I guess maybe it wasn't actually weirder. Question Mark and the Mysterians. American garage rock band from Bay City and Saginaw in Michigan, initially active between 62 and 69. Much of the band's music consisted of electric organ-driven garage rock and an enigmatic image inspired by the 1957 Japanese science fiction film The Mysterians. Okay. You gotta have an aesthetic, huh? You gotta be a hermit now. Everybody's gotta have a thing. You gotta be a sergeant. You gotta be a monkey on TV. You gotta be Paul Revere in the Raiders in your war outfits. You gotta have something funky to stand out. You gotta have your mop tops. Gone are the we're building characters. We're building up into where it eventually leads into like the 80s with hair metal and just big maximalism. You gotta capture their attention with something stupid. Can't just be the music. The band's sound was also marked by the raw, resonating lead vocals of Question Mark, the stage name of Rudy Martinez, making Question Mark and the Mysterians one of the earliest groups whose musical style is described as punk rock. Their music and imagery were highly influential on later bands. They were unable to replicate their success with later recordings and are deemed a one-hit wonder. I don't know, that was fun enough. Sorry you guys didn't succeed too much, but it's something, you know? Before Prince, there was Question Mark. I find that kind of actually really interesting, you know? There's just that showmanship aspect of it all coming into play and presenting as a character and a symbol, you know, in the words of Prince. I like that actually. All right, we're gonna round it out with our number one song, which may or may not actually have been number one because of the whole thing with the Ballad of the Green Berets. I don't really fully understand that. In any case, our number one song here by a group that we are going indeed to listen to. Here we go.
All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, I've been for a walk on a winter's day, I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA, California dreaming on such a winter's day. Stopped into a church,
Wow.
I passed along the way.
This production is crazy.
Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. You know the preacher like to call. He knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day.
Wow. Yo!
All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray,
Huh.
I've been for a walk on a winter's day, If I didn't tell her, I could leave today. California dreaming on such a winter's day. California dreaming on such a winter's day. California dreaming on such a winter's
Okay. Huh. That was a very strong number one. That was one of our, I don't want to say our best number one. I'm going to say better than Wooly Bully, but then we get into like the Beatles. Yeah, we don't want to have that whole debate. It's one of our strongest number ones, I'm going to say. I really like that song. That was emblematic. That was demonstrative of a lot of good things all at once. A great sound, great production and arrangement and progression. Great voices, great, did I say arrangement? Like the vocal arrangement as well as the instrumental arrangement there is really smart. The Mamas and the Papas was an American folk rock vocal group that recorded and performed from 1965 to 68. That's it? Oh, we're definitely going to do them then. Little tiny discography, we'll knock that right out. The group was a defining force in the music scene of the counterculture of the 1960s. Formed in New York City, the group consisted of Americans John Phillips, Cass Elliot, and Michelle Phillips, and Canadian Denny Doherty. Its sound was based on vocal harmonies arranged by John Phillips, the songwriter and leader of the group, who adapted folk to the new beat style of the early 60s. The Mamas and the Papas released 5 studio albums and 17 singles, wow, 6 of which made the Billboard Top 10 and has sold close to 40 million records worldwide. After their breakup, the band reunited briefly to record the album People Like Us, but split again shortly after the album was released. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998 for their contributions to the music industry, and they reunited for the second and final time to perform at the induction ceremony that year, during which Elliot's daughter Owen filled in for their late mother, who had died in '74. Damn. So they have 5 studio albums in that short amount of time? Well, at least the first 3 look like they were in the zeitgeist. That's funny that the 4th one is called The Papas and the Mamas. That's funny. Hard for me to listen to this group after learning what John Phillips did to his daughter. Oh, Jesus. Well, we've already listened to Phil Spector. Phil Spector, he looks like Anakin mixed with Palpatine right there. Tell me that you guys don't see that, and I will ban you in the chat. Cass loved Denny, Denny loved Michelle, Michelle married to John, Denny's and Michelle's have an affair, slight tension in the band. Oh, man. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, let's look at our list here. I'm going to say our batting average is pretty high again. I don't really think there's a bad song among these. I mean, the Ballad of the Green Berets is definitely sketchy, I'm going to say, I guess, you know? Or in the words Wikipedia used objectively, it is one of the few Vietnam-era songs to portray the war in a positive light. I'll leave it at that. That gives me pause. But it's still not a terrible song, to listen to. And then Paul Revere was good. Frank Sinatra is busy being Frank, but, at his Frankiest. Nancy Sinatra impressed me. The Association was soft and nice. The Four Tops continued to be amazing. The Monkees were fun, and I want to hear more of them. The Mysterians were fun, and I guess it's a shame that they weren't a bigger deal, because there's not much more to here, I guess, of any merit anyways. Jimmy Ruffin was beautiful, and the Mamas and the Papas was also, that was a pretty strong song for me. I like that one quite a bit. I'll be excited to listen to the Mamas and the Papas, for sure. Good list, hard to pick a favorite. Yeah, my favorite might still be the Four Tops, or Nancy's These Boots Are Made for Walking, or Mamas and the Papas. Yeah, there's some good ones here. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining. I hope you had fun.